boys. Hope everyone had a great week. Talk to me about some dad wins or fails that you've had.
I've got a pretty dad failure, a pretty good dad failure. It's not so much a dad failure. I don't know what it. Well, you guys can be the judge of what this is.
Yeah,
okay, you can be the judge
sounds
of what
good.
this is. So about a week ago, I'm playing basketball with my 14-year-old son, and he's a solid kid. He's like 150, but he's like an athlete, right? So he's pretty solid. And he's trying to do layups, and I'm kind of boxing him out. I'm not giving him an inch.
No,
and he just keeps his shoulders just digging into me, trying to get back. And now he's taking like 2-foot swings and like slamming into my chest. Well, he ends up like dislocated, doing something to my ribs where it was just like, I was immediately like, ugh.
Is that the sound you made?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But I had to be like totally like, it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
And so we finished playing,
show
but then the
weakness.
next like 4 or 5 days,
Why you crying, Dad?
I couldn't like take a deep breath. Just absolutely. So
man.
finally I go in to a chiropractor. Actually, just yesterday I went to the doctor, and they're looking at it and they're like, yeah, your rib is dislocated and then twisted like up and out of place.
wow.
And so it took like 45 minutes of manipulation to get this rib like back down into place, and like I don't know the correct term, but it was like my kids are now at an age where playing sports can actually cause damage. I don't know if it's a win or a failure, but
Where some
failure
rib pads.
turned into
I still told him it didn't hurt, and he'll probably listen to this, but whatever.
Is that what your appointment was yesterday?
That's what
I
what I ran out.
I thought you were just getting that rash looked at. That's
That's next week.
nice. Mine's a wholesome win. So, as you guys know, I'm a girl dad, and as you guys know, we are expecting twins.
Yep.
Later this year. So we found out the sex of the twins.
What do we got?
Last week we've got 2 more girls coming.
Come on, man.
So clean sweep so far.
I was
Four
gonna
girls,
say.
man.
I was gonna say. So Matt and I are well and truly in the Girl Dad Hall of Fame.
8 girls between you two?
8 girls between us.
A lot of tears.
That's a lot.
Well, like I
A
said,
lot of things.
like I said to my wife, luckily I'm into my skincare and hair care routine. So
Yeah,
it's
there you
gonna
go.
be.
They're gonna come to you for dad.
Oh, it's gonna be yeah. Oh, great! Dad has my moisturizer again. Well, I think that's a
great.
pretty
Is there
good.
gold dust in this?
I don't need to know what's going on in your household. Well, look, that's actually a nice segue into today's topic, where we're discussing dads on screen. So nice and simple. Let's kick this off with, who are your Mount Rushmore of TV and movie dads? Who wants to go first?
The first dad that came to my head when you said this was, of course, the family man Clark Griswold.
Oh, come on. You just stole my number one.
No, really?
My number one note that I wrote down was,
That was the first.
Clark Griswold.
That was the first person I thought. I'm like, all right, if you're talking about iconic,
Yes, iconic
movie dads.
dads.
Clark Griswold is on my list, but he's in my it's honorable mentions.
Come on.
I have an honorable
No
mentions
way.
list,
Dude.
and I've got wait, actually, pause. How many, Mount Rushmore is 4 presidents or 5?
Great question.
Good
I thought
question.
4, but I don't know.
Is it 4 or 5?
I have no-
You're the Americans. I don't know.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
I don't even know
Never
who's on
been
the
to
Mount
Mount
Rushmore.
Okay. Well, let's come to consensus. I think we should pick our top 5. I think 5 seems reasonable.
Top 5.
Top 5
Together.
we can do
Together.
together.
Okay.
Okay.
Top
Is
5
top
together.
5
So,
reasonable?
Griswold, just to play after Clark Griswold one.
Okay.
Like, there are very few TV dads.
Yeah.
When you see on camera.
Yeah.
That you just immediately know, like, oh, like the whole movie's based off of him being like a dad, basically.
Right, yeah.
Which there's very few of just those pure play
Sure.
Exactly.
moments where it's just a dad trying to get through life.
But you know what's interesting is, like, I was trying to think through, like, how should we rate this? And so, like, I thought, like, life lessons is maybe a category.
Okay.
Crisis handling is maybe a category. How funny they are could be like a category. Emotional availability could be a category.
How do we judge that?
I don't know. I mean, we could figure it out.
All right, we'll play this one by ear.
Yeah.
We'll play
Okay.
this
All right. Well, I think this is what we should do. Let's just get sort of everything out in the open, and then we can kind of come to consensus on what we think the top 5 is. So, okay. All right. So Clark's out there. I'm going to throw another one out there. I'm going to throw out Uncle Phil from the Fresh
had
Prince
that
of
on my
Bel-Air.
Oh,
list.
I had Uncle Phil in
yeah.
there as
Uncle
well.
Phil is right up there. For
yeah.
me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is it about Uncle Phil? Why Uncle Phil?
Emotional availability, 10. That's not even his kid. I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
he,
true.
Yeah.
he brings him in.
Totally steps in.
That scene where, like, Will's dad, like, abandons him, and Will's crying, and Uncle Phil just, like, hugs him. Do you know the scene I'm talking about?
There's a couple scenes where Uncle Phil comes on set
Saves
and
the
it
day.
just
It's the one where like Will like starts crying and he's like, "How come you don't want me, man?" That one, and he gives,
Yeah.
that one, that is like the iconic scene.
I think of the pool hall scene when
That's
he
a
gets hustled for
great
that money and
one.
Uncle Phil shows up and he pretends like he never plays pool.
That's right.
And then he grabs his stick.
What about the one where like Uncle Phil bails Will and Carlton out of jail as well? Do you remember that?
I remember that one.
That one's so good.
There's one, and I don't know what it's about, but it takes place in like living room.
Yeah.
And Uncle Phil rarely gets mad in the episode in the show, but he goes like he like stands up for his kid, and he basically like dresses down somebody, and you're just like, whoa. He
I think
stood
we're
up.
talking about the same scene.
Oh, is that the
He's
same
dressing
scene?
down like Will's dad for being like,
Okay,
like
something
real
like,
dad for
yeah,
being
yeah,
like,
something maybe that's something like that, and you're just like, this is like an afternoon sitcom, and that dude's acting hard.
I know. I know.
after it.
Yeah, he got after it.
I know. So Uncle Phil was probably my number one, but obviously will come to consensus. So who else do we think makes the list?
So as much as I hate the movie Taken, that dad from Taken, you have to give him.
Dude, he was the second guy I thought of.
I mean,
So
you have to put him on the list simply
has to.
because.
So the character's name is Brian Mills, but everyone's talking about Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
Liam
yeah,
Neeson
yeah.
at this point.
You know,
and I was trying to think of like what the line is.
Oh, you got to say the line.
Oh, I've got the line.
Dude, please.
Hear it.
It goes, "I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. But if you're looking for a ransom, I can tell you I don't have any money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that might make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. If not, I will look for you. I will pursue you. I will find you. And I will kill you."
There it is.
When you hear that, especially when he gets like that, I will look for you.
Yeah.
I will find you.
Yeah, yeah.
I will kill you. You're just like
it's like the
yes,
and it's like it's the pauses between as well.
The
like-
delivery is
yeah,
amazing.
the delivery is
so good.
yeah.
And you've seen
So
like
good.
I'm sure you've seen it like after the fact where like I think there was like a Conan O'Brien episode where they ask him to do it.
Yeah.
And it's about like a pizza delivery or something like that. And he does the same exact
Same.
like
Yeah.
but like I actually do not like the movie at all. Like the
I think
actual
it's-
movie, I don't
That's
like
a
it at
brutal
all.
movie to
Even
watch,
Taken
man.
2 is awful.
I don't even watch Taken 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same concept. It's just
But the idea of this guy and like that line like just goes down in history as like
It's
one of the
so
best
good.
dad
Oh, yeah.
moments. 'Cause
it's so good.
you know, when you have obviously you guys have girls, right? So like
Yeah.
when you have boys, like my first one was a boy, and there's this feeling of like, yeah, you protect your child. When you have a daughter,
Yep.
it is next level. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm ready to kill. Like I have released whatever
Right.
that gate was in my body that I would kill for this
Yeah.
child. There's something that happens when you become a girl dad. And so when you hear the guy from Taken, you're just like, oh yeah, I'd kill for this. Yeah, I'll
He's
do
just
it.
saying what
He's
we would
saying
always
exactly
think.
what exactly what I think. And it doesn't even need to be someone who takes your daughter. It could be like someone who just takes your daughter on a date.
But I will find you
Exactly.
and I will kill you.
I will find you. I will hunt you down, and I will kill you.
That actually makes you think of the dad from Meet the Fockers.
I had that
Or
on my
no, Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents
Because
Meet
he
the
does
Parents.
this. You know?
Yeah. I had that on my
Robert
list.
De Niro's character.
yeah.
So I had that on my list as honorable mention. Didn't make my like Mount Rushmore. So maybe I'll throw out some honorable mentions of people that don't make it on my list.
Please say Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson did
Homer
not
Simpson.
make it onto the list.
I believe the phrase, don't.
But thinking of cartoons, I had the dad from Finding Nemo, Marlin.
Yeah.
So
He's
funny.
solid.
I actually thought in that movie, I thought the dad I really like is Crush.
Crush is awesome.
He's the sea turtle who
Yeah,
like
yeah.
lets his kid
Lets his
like
kid just
explore
be
and like it's all right, man.
Free range parenting.
Yeah. I was like, Crush is the man in this one.
So I liked Marlin from Finding Nemo. Didn't make my list. I had Atticus Finch on How to Kill a Mockingbird, or To Kill a Mockingbird rather. I had Vito Corleone, The Godfather.
Of course,
Yeah.
the Godfather.
Gotta have him.
You know, crime aside, fiercely loyal family man.
I was thinking of it was up in the air besides or between obviously The Godfather or
Yeah.
Sopranos.
Tony Soprano is on the list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
he's made
again,
my list.
these are not great
Yeah.
husbands.
Right.
Exactly right.
No.
But in terms of taking care of your family, responsibility,
So Andrew,
ownership,
this is what I wrote
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Tony Soprano. Morally conflicted mobster, trying to keep his family together. Not a good dad, but a fascinating one, fueled by love and guilt. I think
There you go.
that's fair.
the IMDb right
Yeah,
there.
that's it right
Yeah.
there. I got one.
Go on. Is this on your Mount
This
Rushmore?
is I think this would be my just because it's a family favorite movie too.
Okay.
But George Banks from Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride is
Great
excellent.
movie.
Great
You know,
movie.
when she's
Great
telling
movie.
him she's getting married and he just sees his little girl.
Yeah.
You know, it like flashes
That's a
back
good
to that
movie.
scene.
That's a great one.
And just
Matt,
what
that's
he
a
goes
great
through
one.
in that is hilarious.
Great
and fun
actor
and-
as well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
Steve Martin had to be in there.
so good.
Between
Oh,
that
that's
and Cheaper
superb.
by the Dozen, like he's
Oh,
got to
that's
be in there.
superb.
The Cheaper by the Dozen, and then the one that I was thinking of was, is it Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn when it's Overboard?
Overboard?
Yeah, okay.
Him as a dad in that?
Yeah, okay.
Dude,
classic.
who would
Yeah.
not want Kurt Russell as their dad?
True,
Yeah.
true.
Like
I'm gonna
you
leave that.
Yeah,
in
does he kidnap her and does he trick her into thinking she's married to watch his kids? That's a good dad
Who
move.
wouldn't do that?
I mean, it's Goldie Hawn.
Took an opportunity.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
An opportunity.
I think those.
Right.
I think those hit honorable mentions.
So I've got one that above that.
Okay, go.
And this is one that probably that you don't think of as a father, but Gladiator,
Dude,
Maximus,
yeah.
whatever the
Dude,
guy's
yeah.
name is,
Maximus is my number 4.
like he's got to be on the list because
Yeah.
like that scene and like so I watched that prior to obviously having kids, and then you watch that scene post, and you're just like it's a different feeling as a father.
I as an 11-year-old. So Gladiator is my favorite movie of all time.
Yep.
It's also the first movie I cried in.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, like a singular tear like came down. But like you're absolutely right. Like I watched that again as a dad and like multiple tears were like coming down. It's the scene where he's like, my name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the north, general of the Felix legions, loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius. And then it goes into like the iconic scene, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Yep.
Classic, man.
Like, it
Ooh,
literally
I just got
gives me
chills
gives me
thinking about
goosebumps
it.
just hearing about it.
There's that whole category, I feel like, of dads that are the revenge dad.
Yeah.
Or even like
that's revenge dads
dad,
are like that is the
Yeah.
there's not many movies that they're not revenge dads. That's why the Clark Griswold is so iconic because there's no revenge in it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually just trying to say, like, if you think about those movies, they're going on family
He's
vacations.
like, let's just be a family, guys.
they're trying to have an
Is
epic
this
Christmas.
the Mother's Day episode all over again?
Yeah, right. Because I
Revenge-
thought of Mel Gibson and The Patriot, right? Another movie
true.
where
Yeah.
he's got this big family.
I know. He's been cancelled in general, so I didn't put him on there. But the Patriots,
Patriots,
that's a great
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. Revenge #Revenge Dad is I think right. So I actually think if we're trying to sort of narrow this down and we'll get like a formalized list, I think Uncle Phil makes the list. I think Maximus 100%
Yeah.
makes the list. I think
agree
just
to that.
for being iconic, Liam Neeson from Taken should probably make the list. Maybe for that scene alone. We can discuss. I'm
He'll
open
sit
to
at
it.
5 right now unless we
Can I
find
throw one
someone.
out there?
Yes,
Go on,
let's
go.
see.
What about the classic Rocky?
See,
Once his son starts growing up, he gives some
Yeah.
good life
I
lessons in
had-
that. It's not how hard you hit; it's how hard you can get hit. Right?
That's a
Keep
great
moving
great
forward.
scene.
It
It's a
is.
great quote. I don't know that he's the best dad.
He obviously had a unique life,
Very unique life.
and his son had.
I
Some
think he's like a
challenges.
soprano dad, right? Where it's like,
But he always loved his kid. He wasn't doing
I-
crime.
I think
he,
Rocky
he was
is-
trying to do right by his son. He's trying to do right by the
Yeah.
community.
Mm-hmm.
Trying
I
to do
think- I
right
think
by
Rocky
his
is
wife and dead
absolutely an
wife.
honorable mention. I think we keep him in honorable mentions. The other honorable mention I was thinking was Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
I have Phil Dunphy
he's
down.
great,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Phil-
He's great.
He's
He's so funny.
My favorite Phil Dunphy quote is like when he looks down the camera being dead serious and he's like, "I'm the cool dad. That's my thing." And I'm like, that's any dad that thinks they're the cool dad is not the cool. It's not the cool
right.
dad.
It's like Phil Dunphy. Like when you look at yourself in the mirror as a dad, you're like, I just don't want to be Phil Dunphy.
And the best part is when you watch Modern Family and you're like, "I'm Jay Pritchett," and your wife looks at you and she's like, "No, you're Phil Dunphy. You goofball."
Come on. What about Tim Allen? So you guys
Tim
watch?
Allen?
Did you guys watch Last Man Standing?
I didn't watch. I
watched Home
It's
Improvement.
kind of Home Improvement
Yeah,
is,
not-
was obviously a
yeah,
classic.
Home
He
Improvement.
redid not redid, but they did Last Man Standing, which
Yeah.
came and already gone.
I
It's
didn't
him and with
see it.
just girls. It's solid.
Yeah.
Same thing because he's like he takes the little things, makes them little,
Yeah.
but the important things he always steps up and helps with. And honestly, you watch that show, you think, man, he's a great dad in
90s
this
Tim
show.
Allen I can get behind. I don't know about 2010s and beyond Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
You gotta check him out.
I
Right?
think, I, think
Come
Tim, I think Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Tim
I
the
think,
Toolman,
I think Tim the
yeah.
Toolman Taylor is what of a lot of our dads were
Yeah.
in the 90s growing up. Like,
Yeah.
They were just like, listen, I just want that new wrench from Sears and I want it in my
And
garage,
they're
hanging on
constantly
the wall.
grunting as well.
Yeah, constantly grunting. It's like they would come home from work and it was like sitcoms and beer. And that's kind of what and it spoke to the generation,
Right. Yeah,
obviously, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of being a good dad, I can't remember any time in that like we mentioned a few things in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that were like iconic moments for him.
Yeah.
That he like kind of stood up.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the same vein as maybe Tim Allen was like George Costanza's dad from Seinfeld.
Oh, he's
like that guy is freaking awesome.
yeah,
like
he's
every time
hilarious.
he gets on
that's
camera,
gotta be one of the just best. Yeah,
yeah,
TV
just like
dads.
you just laugh.
You just laugh, yeah.
And the other '90s sitcom I was just
Full
thinking,
House. The dad's from Full House.
I did write
Bob
Full House.
Saget.
I
Bob
did have
Saget
Full
was
House on my
solid.
list.
Uncle Jesse, well, because he became a dad in that show, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah. What about what's the other '90s one? Everybody Loves Raymond.
That's the other one I was
Ray
thinking.
Romano.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
he's
show.
a bit goofy. He kind of fits like the Phil Dunphy mold as well.
Well, I feel like that's the thing. There's one side of it where you have dads that are just like kind of failing always,
Yep.
and it's like a bad caricature. And then you have the other TV dads, like you guys ever watch This Is Us?
Yeah.
Like
I
Jack.
have not.
Yeah.
no.
So he like dies in this story, but
Yeah.
it
Spoiler, come on.
Yeah, it jumps between generations, but he always has the perfect thing to say. He
Yeah.
always has the best attitude going in every
Yeah.
situation, and it's like so unrealistic in that way
Yeah.
too. You know.
What
It's,
about Mufasa from The Lion King? Is that a good dad?
I haven't seen that in so long.
I'm trying to remember.
I mean, he dies, obviously, spoiler alert. but-
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you know why I had him on the list?
why is that?
I feel like he's the ultimate like legacy dad. Like throughout the entire movie, like Mufasa's life is something that like Simba is looking to emulate. And there's every time like he's lost or needs something, he's always got like an iconic quote like from his dad to like remember by. So like while it
Pretty
might
epic.
not,
Yeah.
right. And I'm not saying like it's as tacky in modern day life where you're thinking about like empire or succession planning, but like if your kids, like when you pass, if your kids could in their moments of strife or stress be like, I wonder what dad would do, or I wonder what like dad would think, that would be pretty cool. And that's what like Mufasa like represents. And there's a scene, right, where like his kid, like he dies for his kid. His kid is stuck in the stampede. He pulls the kid out, and then obviously gets double crossed by his brother. So we'll do an episode on in-laws at some point.
Well, yeah.
but he dies for his kid. So I
does,
think that
yeah.
has to be a
I
case.
think he's murdered. He doesn't die for his kid. He's murdered.
He is murdered, but he could have died in the stampede.
Yeah. I guess the reason why I don't put him in the category is just it's so there's not a moment where it like hits me in the heart.
Sure.
Like I'm kind of just like okay, you know, it is what it is. Whereas with all the other ones, there's moments where you can kind of like feel what they're feeling. Whereas Mufasa was, at least for me. So I would argue if you want to keep him as an honorable mention,
Fine.
We can.
Anyone have a pen so I can cross him out?
man, if we don't agree,
This is over.
Pod's done.
Well, speaking of the ultimate sacrifice, wasn't Bruce Willis in Armageddon? Didn't he stay on the crater for the sake of all humanity? Right,
I
for his
forgot about
daughter
that
too,
one.
for Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Talk about terrible acting.
Yeah. that is
Not taken.
All right. What about Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness?
I vaguely remember that movie. That's the one where he's selling like typewriters or something like that at the beginning of the movie.
To start with, and then he's like sleeping in the subway, but he has his kid with him.
Yeah.
And
It's a good
true
movie.
story.
Yeah,
it's a true story.
It is a
So
good movie. That is a story of resilience, I think, as a dad that anyone could respect and look up to that.
I don't have any touch point on that one. Yeah. Fresh Prince is already on the list. We got Will Smith.
Okay, let's start narrowing this down. So I have. Do we all agree on Uncle Phil?
I'm good with that.
I'm good with Uncle Phil.
Yeah, Uncle Phil. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good with.
Are we all good with Maximus from Gladiator?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, so Maximus is on the list. Where do we stand on Mufasa? I won't be mad.
I'm not. I would vote no on Mufasa.
Yeah,
What do you
gotta
think?
give it thumbs down.
Wow. Okay. I think listeners, if you're listening, please give us some comments. I'd love to hear. What about?
He's wrong, but you're wrong. I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
What about Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness?
I don't have a vote on this. I would say no. I would not put that on because I didn't even think about it.
You didn't mention Clark Griswold again. He's got to be up there.
Clark Griswold has to be.
He's got to. He is the iconic.
There is no dad that you would like. Yeah, Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
The Steve Martin in general plays some iconic dad characters. So
Yeah.
whether it is Father of the Bride,
I could get behind Steve Martin, Father of the Bride.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Cheaper by the Dozen.
Cheaper by the Dozen.
Okay.
Those are good. Oh, what about the dad from Beethoven?
I don't think I've seen that.
The dog
dog
movie?
one. That dad like stands up for the dog, even though the dog is terrible, and he's again, it's all the
I
same.
haven't seen that.
I haven't
too long.
seen
Okay,
it.
yeah.
I haven't seen it. I can't give an opinion on that one.
All right.
Where
are we at? 3 now? We got 3?
Well, so we agree
4.
on Uncle Phil.
Yep, Uncle Phil. Do
Maximus.
not try to sneak Mufasa in there on us.
One second. Uncle Phil, Mufasa. All right. Uncle Phil,
Yep.
Maximus from Gladiator,
Yep.
Steve Martin.
Yep.
I'm just going to say Father of the Bride.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Just so we can narrow it down. Because I agree with Matt. That scene where, like, the daughter says she's getting married and he pictures, like, her as a little girl. Mm-hmm. So that's 1, 2, 3. We have Liam Neeson Taken. I'm throwing out there. We don't have to.
He's like he's not a revenge dad. He is because they take your daughter, but she doesn't die.
Yeah, because
he
he's revenge
obviously-
dad. He's revenge dad.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
we've got in the list of honorable mentions, you've got a Phil Dunphy. that you
I
could-
couldn't put him on there. No, that'd be no
I'm
way.
just saying it's
I would say Jay Pritchett is more because Jay Pritchett, like every time you think he's like so far gone, he
Yeah.
comes back around with like a statement, and you're like, oh wow, this guy's human. And I think we
yeah.
can all kind of relate to that
Yeah.
way more than the goofball Phil Dunphy.
Sure.
Right, but
Or Al Bundy, his previous dad.
yeah,
character.
exactly. Well, see, that was the dad. Like when you think of TV dads, especially like TV dads of the '90s, they're always like curmudgeons. What was the
That's what I
show?
mean, yeah.
Is it All in the Family, where he's like the racist dad who basically sits in his recliner and he just like
That was Al Bundy. Is that what you're thinking of?
no, not Al Bundy.
No.
Al Bundy is Married with Children.
Married with Children. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Al Bundy was All in the Family was. I forget the guy who played the character, but it's like basically the entire show sets place in his living room, and he's just a curmudgeon, like hates everything, is grumpy,
Yeah.
berates his wife, is racist, all that sort of stuff. But then throughout the like seasons, he starts coming around to all these ideas, and I think the reason why it's such a good show, and I think I'm sure it's won awards, or whatever, is like it kind of followed it like led the society in that way, where it went from this
social
like
changes.
yeah, the social
Yeah.
changes, and it kind of like spoke out against it in certain ways. Not to get crazy on the show, but anyway, that's another good dad. I don't know if he's on that.
Wait. So let me go through the list again. So we have 4 now. So we have Uncle Phil.
Yep.
Clark Griswold.
Okay.
Steve Martin. Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yep.
That's 4. So I mean, Mount Rushmore. I have no idea. Is it 4 or 5? But we should probably pick a fifth.
Let's just go to 5.
Let's pick a fifth. So ones that we could think through. So we have obviously Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness, Mufasa. Liam Neeson from Taken. We have Atticus Finch, To Kill a Mockingbird. We've got Vito Corleone, The Godfather. We said no to Phil Dunphy.
Yeah.
We've got Tony Soprano potentially on that list. You've got some of the Finding Nemo references that we made. Let me see. Anyone else that we can think of? Those are kind of the main ones that come to mind. And we don't have to pick 5. I mean, if we're not happy, right? We think about emotional availability. I mean, Steve Martin, emotional availability. That's right up there.
Oh, for sure.
I think. Then you've got emotional availability. Uncle Phil, 100%. Maximus, I'm not sure he was emotionally available.
It's a
But
different time.
The thing, well, no, when he goes back and like imagines his kids
Yeah.
and everything, he's spending
Yeah.
time with his kids and his wife, and his kids and his wife are like running out to him, thinking it's him returning home, and that's when they get murdered, right?
Yeah.
So like he had to have some level
That's right.
of like,
That's right.
they had to
But-
have loved him at some point.
But crisis handling, I mean, Maximus definitely did handle his business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And then we've got Clark Griswold. Obviously, we spoke about from like a wholesome standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm struggling on number 5. Mufasa's looking pretty
No,
tasty
Mufasa,
right now.
there is no lion head on this Mount Rushmore. I'd say we have to stay away from animated in general. Because you can't put like, Dory, whatever the guy's name is.
Finding
Finding
Nemo.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
We'd have to we can find one more person.
I think Stallone's kind of making his way back up in Rocky.
get out of here.
You know what I'm saying?
Still,
Plus
just
that
in
chiseled
general,
face on The Rock
What
would
about
be-
like every movie that Mark Wahlberg plays in, where he's like a dad?
Doesn't he do a movie called Bad Dad or something?
Well,
The one
he's
with-
always a dad.
He
who
plays
has like
a lot
come
of
to
good dads.
Jesus a moment.
Yeah.
Or like there's this one I watched. It wasn't a particularly great movie, but it was like he was an ex like spy or CIA guy, but he lives in like suburbia, driving a minivan.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then over time, it kind of comes to light, and he starts, whatever.
Guys,
being-
I'm gonna. You actually jogged me on this. What about Will Ferrell as a dad.
Which one?
Oh, Stepdads?
In Stepdad?
No, that's Step Brothers.
No,
Wait,
Step
what are we
Brothers.
thinking of?
No. I'm
No, he's
thinking
been Stepdad.
I'm
Mark
thinking-
Wahlberg.
No, I'm thinking Will Ferrell in like kicking and screaming.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
thinking
that's-
Kicking and
that's a great
Screaming as
movie.
well.
Kicking and
That's a
screaming's
great
in there.
movie, yeah.
I think I just like Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
You've got maybe Vince Vaughn in some of these like movies.
What about Adam Sandler and
I don't know. He you know how we were speaking about revenge dads? Adam Sandler fits like the goofy dad mold. Like he's definitely goofy dad.
Oh, an Adam Sandler role in Click though.
Click is excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Click is actually I just referenced Click yesterday in a conversation.
Yeah.
Click is I think for guys, like every guy goes through these phases in their life where they're just like bath time. I wish I could just fast forward this time. Or
that's a sleeper. Of a
or
movie.
you know, I know I can just get this promotion, or I want to land this customer, or that whatever it is.
Yeah.
I wish I could just fast forward to the end to see what happens. And if you're actually given a remote like that, you're like, man, would I actually do that, knowing that I would, miss out on all this? And so that role, I think he actually does a pretty good job.
He does. Yeah. It would feel wrong putting Adam Sandler on this list. I don't know why.
I agree with you, but that role is a very good role.
It is. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. That's a great movie. We don't have to do a fifth. While we
named a bunch of honorable mentions.
Okay.
Yeah.
That we let the audience pick their fifth one. If you have a fifth person,
I like that
to put on.
I really like that.
Add a comment if you have a fifth dad that you want to add.
That's
put a comment
Mount
in.
Rushmore.
Yeah, leave us an email, leave us a
Yeah.
comment on YouTube or Instagram. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's leave it for the listeners to do their fifth. Let's pivot really quick. I don't want to waste too much time on this, but worst movie dad?
Oh, worst movie dad.
I have one that comes to mind right away. The dad from Home Alone.
Oh, class, yeah.
Like he leaves him twice.
Checked out.
And he has the audacity.
That's every 90s dad. It's just like, I don't know.
But he has the audacity in Home Alone 2 when they're in New York to like complain about the hotel bill. I'm like, you left your son by himself. Right. Don't worry about it.
I thought of Liar Liar, Jim Carrey in that
that's a
movie.
good one.
Remember before he kind of turns around.
Yeah.
He's always missing his son
Jim
stuff.
Carrey could never make it on my list of Mount Rushmore of dads. I can't take that guy seriously.
I didn't think of any like bad dad roles because I think that's kind of played out. Like
Yeah,
like
there's
you
a
said,
lot
like
played out.
Al Bundy with with Married with Children, just like
Does Morgan
angry.
Freeman ever play like a good dad? I feel like that would be a great guy to have.
Worst dad's Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. There you go.
Really?
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Dude, well, how is Darth Vader a good dad?
I don't know. Let's maybe leave that for the listeners. I feel like that's a whole topic to get into. What about like a movie dad?
This guy,
I know.
he
He's
fights
like,
for Mufasa. I mentioned like one of the most
Yeah.
cinematic masterpieces of our generation. He's like, yeah, we're not talking about that.
Table that one.
Listen, if Mufasa makes the list, we can talk Darth Vader all you like. I don't care.
Get out of here.
He has a sketch that he was making last night with Mufasa's face on it. You could show everybody.
George Washington, Mufasa.
Crumbling it up under the table.
I guess we won't be using this for our art cover.
What a waste of time this has been. Yeah.
Oh man.
What about movie
All right.
dad your wife secretly wishes you could be like?
I don't have any good reference for this.
No.
Yeah, I just...
My wife wishes I was like Mufasa's.
That's great.
Wait, dead? Or...
I meant like long, luxurious mane of hair.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you're close.
That's
You're
why.
close.
That's why. Yeah.
I was
Exactly.
gonna say Jack from This Is Us, but funny reference. That actor is also Rocky's son. So see, he learned those lessons as a son
Wow.
from Rocky.
Yeah.
To then go ahead and
Him trying to
translate
bring
that
it back.
into this. This is crossing
so
TV
I-
and movies.
okay.
I think
This
Stallone,
is too deep.
I think this might be settled, guys.
Wow. Inception. All right, so you're hung up on Rocky. I'm hung up on
Rocky.
Mufasa. I mean, it's whatever. Yeah. Let's move forward. Let's move to listener corner. So, if you could have an actor play you as a movie dad, who would it be? And it doesn't have to be someone who's like a good dad or whatever. Like the list of ones that we've gone through. Obviously James Earl Jones is dead, so he can't play me as Mufasa. But what about you guys? Who
He
would
also
you have?
played Darth Vader. Oh my gosh!
There it is, full circle.
Maybe we just throw James Earl Jones on there and we agree to disagree.
Yeah,
I agree.
seriously.
I agree. Wow, clever. I like that. What about actor? Actor to play you as a
Actors
movie dad.
that you would want
Yeah.
to play you.
Maybe we could do this a bit more fun. What about who do you think, or does someone or your wife or friends think is a doppelganger?
Omar Vizquel. So if you guys are
Oh my gosh.
Cleveland
I have
Indians.
never put it
Dude,
together.
I get that all
You
the time.
do look like Omar.
All the time. He was in the 90s when the Indians were...
Okay.
He was a shortstop.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're killing it. Omar Vizquel was a shortstop.
Okay.
I get people around here Omar. It's Omar. Like, it's
dude,
hilarious.
I had no idea.
He's my
That's
doppelganger.
crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool. What about you?
I have no clue, man. I'm
play
one
you?
of one, man.
One of one.
One of one.
One of one,
I mean,
baby.
we could do like Mr. T.
Mohawk sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
do have
I'm thinking of Mohawk
sometimes.
sometimes.
Yeah. Should we give one for
pity
him? I can't
fool.
think who would play him.
Yeah.
Watch it.
don't
It
know.
can be insulting pretty easy. Like,
What about Mark Wahlberg?
sure, Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Who's a guy? What about Steve? No, you're too young. I was going to say Steve Martin, Cheaper by the Dozen. There's similarities with just the number of kids.
You got too much hair for Jason Statham, so, you know.
Jason Statham is a good
Jason,
one.
he plays a lot
good.
of revenge ones.
Yeah,
he does.
He revenges people that don't even need his revenge. He's like, you attack the bees, now you die. It's like, whoa, bro.
What about you, Naveed? What do you got?
You know, the one I get a lot, and this guy's been cancelled recently, so I'm kind of hesitant to give it, is Justin Baldoni. Do you know who that is? The guy who recently got cancelled with this whole beef with Blake Lively.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I used to get that
who that
one
is.
a fair amount and still get it every now and then.
Who'd you pick if you
If
needed
you
an
could
actor?
pick it.
If I could
If
pick,
you
Yeah.
could pick it.
with James Earl Jones now sadly no longer among
No,
us.
why can't he be?
No, you know who I would.
You identify as a
you know who I-
285-pound black man with an incredibly deep voice?
I would. You know who I would do is, I actually would pick prime Russell Crowe, like Russell Crowe from the 2000s.
From Beautiful Mind.
I think prime Russell Crowe would be pretty.
You want
pretty
Maximus,
cool.
basically.
Yeah, I mean,
Maximus,
basically, if you're like, yes, I
Yeah.
want Gladiator, 100%.
Yeah. It also depends on the type of dad you're playing. Are we playing Revenge Dad? Are we playing Goofball Dad? Are we playing whatever? Right. So there's so many
Yeah.
layers to this, and I think we've kind of over-egged the layer element with some of our stretches that we've been doing as a
good.
as a group. But yeah, that's fun stuff. What about dad interests for this week? Any fun stuff that you guys been reading about
Yeah.
or seen or anything?
I've got one for you guys. So we mentioned we had a golfing episode. We talk about golf a lot.
Yeah.
And golf balls are so stinking expensive.
Oh my gosh.
It's ridiculous.
And, when you're on the course and you find like a Pro V or you find, whatever, a nice Bridgestone,
Yeah.
you're like, sweet jackpot. I just found a $4 ball or
Especially
something.
when you hit like a Kirkland into the woods and come out with a Titleist V1, you're like, upgrade!
Or you're like, you get on the green and the person's like, wait, which one was yours? You're like, the Pro V1. You're like, you're a Kirtland guy. Anyway, I read this article. So this is more of like a discussion topic. If you find a max fly ball in the woods,
Okay.
you typically are like, I'm not picking that up.
Yeah.
Or if I do pick it up, I'm going to use it as like I'm shooting over the water type ball.
Yeah.
But Max Fly has supposedly like totally redone how they design their golf balls.
Oh, wow.
And I think the two Tour Pros like are using Max Flies now and everything. So I don't know what this means for golf in terms or what this means for buying habits, but I think I'm going to try to find a Max Fly that
Max Flies, I think that's Dick's Sporting Goods. Brand, right?
Dick's Sporting Goods bought them and they own them. And they're a lot cheap. At least they're probably going to raise the price to be equal with your Bridgestones and your Pro Vs and stuff like that.
Well, once players start winning with Max Flies, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So Max Flies are supposedly an up and coming ball brand.
Wasn't there like some beef between the Kirkland brand and was it TaylorMade?
No, Pro V.
It was Pro V.
Was it
one.
Pro V
Titleist.
one?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was
I
TaylorMade
think they
for some
sued
reason.
them.
Yeah, supposedly they were being made in the same factory,
Sure.
and they were the exact same ball, like the Kirtlands.
Yeah.
This was like what?
That's when they used to have the 4-layer ball. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
They sell a 3-layer ball now, but they don't sell a 4-layer ball.
Kirkland does.
Kirtland does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they get so like they won the case?
I don't know the outcome.
I
I'm
don't know.
pretty sure they.
I think they just stopped. I think they basically were just like, okay, whatever. We'll just stop.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I haven't really noticed the ball making that big a difference for my play.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not that good.
I would say that like if you hit the ball hard, like I'm not a good golfer, but I do hit the ball
You do
hard.
hit the ball far, yeah.
And like it went on like a cheaper ball, you'll like destroy the side of it when your club comes across it, as opposed to like Pro Vs, that whatever that outer shell is, typically can handle getting like hit hard. I mean, it goes left pretty quick, but it gets hit hard.
I also feel like the ball is usually a lot more. The ball means a lot more in your short game because you need like a better ball to help with like spin and grip and all that.
You gotta be able to spin
I was
it and grip it, and whatever else. None of the things I can do.
Check. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good stuff. Well, that was a lot of fun, boys. Matt, why don't you take us home?
Yeah. Well, guys, you can find us talking here on Apple, on Spotify, on Amazon, really anywhere you can get a podcast. Check out our YouTube page as well. And we'd appreciate if you guys leave comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love to get some ideas for episodes and just get your feedback. We would love that. So leave us a message. You can email us at the boardroom at chiefdadofficers.com as well, if you like email.
And don't forget, we're still waiting to hear what your fifth dad is.
We need a fifth dad, so drop it in there, guys. Drop in a comment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Take care.